Christina, that basically what ends up happening, people focus a lot on, oh, Obama is black and is this anti-black animus directed at Barack Obama. But in some ways, Robert's point, it's broader than that in the sense that the Democratic Party is identified with the interests of African Americans in the minds of so many, that is producing as much racial polarization in voting behavior. You don't even need the crowning achievement of the black president to make that voting behavior look that way.
Well, there are a few things, though, Chris, right? We know that Bundy wouldn't be a hero if he were anyone other than a white man, right? So no one would be celebrating him if he took up arms and he was a black woman or a white woman even, right? To say nothing about a Latino man or a black man. So let's just accept that has nothing to do with Obama, right? We know that you can't have militias screaming about the government if they're not white men. That's just not feasible. But we know that historically, at least for the past 30 years, African Americans have solidly voted for the Democratic Party, especially on the national level. We know that the numbers are a little weaker on the local levels, right? But we know that African Americans vote for Democrats roughly 90% for the presidency. So the same way many, Tea Partiers said, well, blacks only voted for Obama because he's black. No, blacks vote for Democrats. That's the lot that they've chosen. Whether that strategy is going to pan out in the future, we're not exactly sure, right? But we also know, as the data has shown us, that whites actually vote for whites too, right? So we know that whites actually voted for McCain because he was white. Whites actually voted for Romney because he was white. People actually voted against their own interests. So we do see a sort of racialized voting happening. And it's not just about black Americans.
Well, the question I think is fair to ask, if blacks voting for Democrats, is that considered racial, is that purely racial voting, or is it voting for their political? And if whites are voting for Republicans, is it racial or
their interests?
Or their political interests?
That's an interesting question. And Sam, I want you to react to some interesting polling about how different demographics view the role of government. Take this quick break.